Friends, I am Deb Colitas, and welcome to the Just Get to Work podcast. This is where we talk about all things business, strategy, communication, AI search. What do we need to be doing to get out there and make sure that our customers and our message is getting to where it needs to be and to those decision makers? So let's get rid of the noise and let's just get to work. Today's topic kind of takes a conversion into history here that I really fully believe that social media was the preview of behavior to now AI search. But this is a different kind of thing. AI didn't suddenly change consumer behavior. Consumer behavior began changing years ago. Most people may not be old enough to remember what it was like when the internet was 20 years ago. When you wanted information, you really had to go find it. Before even search engines, oh my gosh, the internet was there, but you were using something called dial up. Oh my gosh, archaic. If you opened a browser, you had to type in the website address. There wasn't even the ability to search through topics or keywords. You click through Google, you click through pages, you compared sources, you read articles, right? The internet ultimately is like the largest library humanity ever created. The information is there, but you're responsible to find it. So if I'm looking for a new hairdresser per se, and I go into Google, well, I'm getting lists and lists. And that list is now also diluted by, well, who's advertising? Are they really the best? Who's closest to me? Are they the one that's going to understand what I need? So you are then still in charge of how you're going through that information, deciding what you're going to look at. And there's great advantages of that because you are control, but it's taking longer, right? Google became one of the most important companies in history because it made the process faster. It wasn't like opening the phone book or asking 12 friends. You could have it all in front of you. But even as Google required effort, you still had to search, right? And you have to decide what source to trust. You, as the user, are doing the work. And this is simply how it's been until now. Something's changed. The feed arrived with Facebook. Let's face it, we even call it doom scrolling now. But when the feed arrived, it was the idea that information that we were choosing of interests and likes and behavior was being recorded behind the end. Do you know Facebook? They publicized this that every single keystroke you've ever done on Facebook, even if you've deleted it, they have it in their servers. That's how crazy this is. And so, as Facebook introduced the idea that information could come to you instead of you going to it, well, Instagram refined that experience. And of course, Facebook, AKA Meta, purchased Instagram. And then you've got this wild, free radical called TikTok. And they took that concept totally to a different level. People weren't searching nearly as much, they were scrolling. And that sounds like a small difference, but this is what now is being fed to you. Why do you think the global world is so polarized, but yet when you go out day to day, everybody's smiling and, being with each other? It's the whole idea that we're constantly be giving things that algorithms are telling us to pay attention to, not that they're actually the most important things that we would want to be a part of. So we have become accustomed to that information being delivered to us. And quite frankly, we're addicted. We're addicted to what the algorithm is giving us as important, what we want to watch, what we want to learn, what products we want to buy, what restaurants we might want to visit. Let me tell you, my daughter, I'm so excited. I'm going to be a grandma. Well, immediately, what did I do? My internet search changed to, okay, baby items, things for my daughter, everything like that. And all of a sudden, I saw all my social media feeds change, what I was being advertised, the type of posts that I was being suggested. So one simple action began to dramatically change what's happening somewhere else. Have you ever been in a room and all of a sudden you're talking about something and then it appears on here? Yeah, don't tell me that this device isn't listening. That is the algorithm feeding us what it is assuming that we want to see, hear, watch in different ways. And the thing is, though, as much as we complain, who's getting rid of these things? As much as those are fighting against AI data centers right now, I don't see anyone in a massive protest tossing their phones into a river in a ceremonious applause of how we're going to step away from it. We're naturally attracted to the point of least resistance. We want information. We want to be able to make decisions. We want to feel empowered. We don't want to feel put down in any way. So if one path requires effort and another path gives us the same result with less effort, Most choose the easier path. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok understood this and they took it to another level better than anyone. So while other platforms focused on who you followed, like Facebook and Instagram, TikTok focused on what interested you and it became frighteningly good at understanding this behavior. You open up the app, the content is waiting. No searching, no effort, no planning, just a swipe. You need a recipe for dinner? Nah, I swipe. Do you need a product review? I'm just swiping. You need travel ideas? Well, it's just there. So millions of people came accustomed really quickly to receive answers before even they asked the question. Do you know how to ask a question then? Do you know if this answer is actually real? These are all kinds of discussions that we can talk for hours. I don't have the answer today. Good, bad, indifferent. There are different things now as business owners and marketers that you need to understand and how people are searching or not searching, and you just need to appear in front of everyone. And this is where the story gets even more interesting because humans don't compartmentalize experiences. Because when one area of life becomes easier, such as the dopamine of, ooh, I love this bluey, or I love this home improvement video, or I love this cat or dog video. We begin expecting that same level of convenience everywhere else. Think about Amazon, right? One click purchasing. Do you know what it took to order something in the 1980s and 90s? Do you understand what the Sears catalog was? Oh my gosh, when that hit in early November, and then you got to pick through as a kid of what you wanted for Christmas time, the catalog got people into the store. Yes, mail order was there, but it was a whole other process. You actually called someone and you gave them an order number and the page number and verifying things. So we expect now frictionless buying experiences, no matter what it is. Netflix. There's no more video stores. So guess what? We now not expect Netflix, but Amazon Prime and Paramount Plus and Disney Plus. We want to be able to click and have the whole catalog of the world available to us. Same thing with Uber. We don't need to worry about where we have a ride from. So, and social media trained us to receive information instantly. And then Amazon has experienced that we expect services and products instantly. We also begin expecting instant information. This is a critical point. The behavior changed long before AI arrived. Social media trained an entire generation to stop looking for information and start expecting information to arrive. And this is where it's dangerous. If you're trying to get the message out there, how hard are you fighting for someone's attention? AI isn't creating a new expectation, it's fulfilling an existing one. So think about the progression. When, Google said, tell me what you're looking for, right? That beautiful blank bar. Google changed their icon every single day, which it still does, which is quite incredible. When you say strawberry farm near me, that's what I'm looking for. Social media, though, says, we'll show you what we think you want. So you start liking a couple farms. Guess what? All of a sudden, your feed is full of agriculture and growing this and eating this. And then AI says, here's your answer. You're asking something complete and it gives you something extensive. And then what does it do? It gives you suggestions of what else to ask or what you should be looking for next. Notice this direction. Each step removes a friction and removes effort and less action from the user to gain information. But that information, well, it's been packaged for you, and there's benefits and there's drawbacks to that. When the search engine required a question, the feed anticipates a question, and AI has eliminated the process almost entirely. Because what does AI do? It remembers all of your past searches. As soon as I put in AI search about something about my daughter being pregnant and looking for the ultimate baby shower gift, guess what? Every time I go back there, if I have any kind of question in relationship to baby, daughter, expectations of pregnancy, references your at last questions and last answers. The memory of this isn't like a human memory, and it's learning off of me and what I put it in there. So AI adoption, it's happened so quickly. The technology may be new, but the behavior is not. Consumers have been moving forward for years in this momentum. The algorithm became a feed, the feed became the answer, and once you see it, it's impossible to unsee. And this is where businesses need to pay attention. Organizations, well, they're mostly fighting yesterday's battle. As I'm bringing on new clients and talking to those that even have a little interest about how do I come up in AI search, they're still reverting to rankings, traffic, clicks, page views. Now, We're in a world of both a Google and AI search. We're going to be in this for quite some time. But don't misunderstand me, as these things still matter, they're not the whole story. A customer today can make a purchasing decision without ever visiting your website. That means through TikTok, through Instagram, through Facebook, asking ChatGPT for a recommendation. A system provides an answer, your company is mentioned, or it's not. The decision making process has already begun. No click required. Now, does this mean that your website and information online is any less important? No, it's more important. It is about an ecosystem that is being built behind the scenes of these AI search platforms, that it is crawling out there to see, if somebody's looking about AI search and learning more, how is Deb Colitas and Focus Point Communications and the Just Get to Work podcast coming up? Is my information in enough places and showcasing how I am active online and trying to get the message out that it is going to come up? The decision making process has begun. No clicks required, no search results required, no website visit required. For decades, visibility meant being found, right? We can have a phone book, you got to open it. Google, you got to type into it. Today, visibility means increasingly to be included in the answer, the recommendation, the conversation. And as I use the word more and more on this podcast of ecosystem, it changes everything in how your business builds its presence. A vast majority of ChatGPT, Guac, Copilot, Google Gemini searches never end up in an actual click to a website. You're part of an answer. It's a fundamental change. So, as you know, I own a farm. Right now, we're in strawberry season. It's very exciting. We do a very good job of asking every single person as we can, hey, how'd you hear about us? Is this your first time visiting? And we have quite a plethora right now. We have the traditional, oh, I saw a friend on Facebook post. Oh, I searched on Google Maps. But the new and rising is I was talking to a grandmother, her grown daughter, and her then grandchildren. And as we're talking, I was like, oh, how'd you hear about us? And we're looking at the goats and we're having fun. And she's like, oh, no, I searched you. Well, search now can mean a lot of things. So I was like, "Wait, do you mind if I ask, where were you searching?" She was like, "Oh, I was on ChatGPT." If a grandma is using ChatGPT on how to find my farm, you better believe that your ultimate audience are using these platforms to get to you, but you might not be there. Organizations that thrive during the next decade will understand this shift early as they will focus on experience instead of tricks, authority instead of shortcuts, and trust instead of manipulation. And this is one of those moments where if you have been attracted to or are working with any kind of organization that says, we're going to get you 8 bazillion clicks or followers or this, that, and the other in this amount of time, it could be true, but it's not gonna last. I see quite a few because I'm always searching this stuff in my Instagram feed of get listed right away on ChatGPT, be ranked. Well, first of all, you can't be ranked and you're not really listed. You're coming up in a search under certain questions and parameters, depending upon what the user is doing. You need to be able to create content online that demonstrates your knowledge rather than just simply attracting clicks. AI systems, they're not thinking like humans, nor should we ever pretend that they're acting like one either. They synthesize, summarize, and identify patterns and connect information that to then deliver an answer. So this means if your business is described differently on Google Business and your website then says something different, and then somebody wrote an article about something even different, or then your hours didn't update on Apple Maps, it's a cluster and you're not going to be found consistently on AI search because AI search is going to go, I don't know what to believe. I've looked at all the searches and sources. I'm not going to recommend this because the information is not clear. So if your expertise is not visible to these systems consistently over a spread of this ecosystem, you may be invisible to your future customers. Not because your products aren't good or your services aren't valuable, but because you're not present when the answer is assembled. This evolution almost feels inevitable when you're able to look back to go forward. But we would say that too about the 8 track to the record, to the tape, to the CD, to the iPod Nano, to then Spotify and everything else out there. I've bought more music than I ever want to again. You can see where it was going once you're there, and then you can look back. But now we have to train ourselves to consume information differently. We've got to have trust summaries for our business, and we need to make sure immediate responses are available. AI is a tool. It is not the be all end all. Relationships, time and time again, are tried and true of what's going to get you there. You've got to figure out how it all needs to come together. I'm not saying abandon any audience. I'm saying use what works and take that and elevate it and make sure that as a business, you're recognizing that the reality today will have an enormous advantage if you're able to pull it all together. The story is not just about technology, the story is about people. Technology changes quickly, but human behavior does not. It takes time. Imagine if you were one of the first YouTubers on the platform and how different your life would be. The smartest leaders watch behavior first. Consumer behavior has been telling us exactly where all this was heading for a long time. How many people have been paying attention? If you have a stale website, guess what? It's time to get with an expert that's not just going to make it pretty. It's going to make sure not only the SEO, search engine optimization, but the GEO, the generative engine optimization, is going to be quality. You have to now decide, are you willing to dive in, make the change, and go beyond that ecosystem to create the environment your consumers don't just want to be a part of, but that's going to be presented to them and they're going to want to seek you out. So this is Deb Colitas and the Just Get to Work podcast. Hopefully this message today has inspired you, not frustrated you, put some ideas in your head, gotten you going on your business and what you need to do for it, or maybe who you work for. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, please reach out, let us know how we can help you. And hey, until the next time, just get to work.